Hello, everyone, and welcome back. As always, I'm your girl, Candy Washington. And before we dive into today's episode, which is Kyle Richards talking about receiving a legal letter from Big Sister Kathy Hilton over the show that she produced, I believe it was called American Woman. It got one season, and then she also opens up about her family drama and her feud. Now, this is the thing. Kathy and Kyle have made up. They've reconciled. Do we think that, Kathy now watching the show, because remember when Kyle is filming the show, she and Kathy are still on the outs after the whole Lisa Renee, Erica Jane, very dark Aspen meltdown season. So, do you think that now watching the season back, Kyle and Kathy are going to have another falling out? We also get another very, in my opinion, produced therapist scene. I have the clip of it that we can watch. And with that, let's dive right on in. But be sure to subscribe, like, and share. So this is according to Reality Blurb. It says Kyle Richards addressed the legal letter from her sister Kathy Hilton over Kyle's American Woman TV show. The series, based on Kyle's unique upbringing with their mother Kathleen, reportedly triggered another Kathy feud. Last season on The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, the sisters fell out after Kyle believed Lisa Rinna's controversial allegation that Kathy had a meltdown in Aspen. The family stuff with my sisters always affects me really, really intensely, said a tearful Kyle in a sneak peek of next week's episode shared by at Jay's Reality blog on Twitter. I had an issue with my oldest sister, Kathy. She continued alluding to their drama last season, but what came out of it is that we're not speaking again, but that's been happening for 10 years. According to Kyle, their first falling out occurred when Mauricio launched his real estate agency after leaving the firm of Kathy's husband. I just felt like every time there is something that should be perceived of that's amazing, I'm proud of you. There's never any of that, said the star, who claimed Kathy got mad when Kyle wrote her book because she thought it would be something that it wasn't. She also said there was an issue when Kyle opened up her own store. And then when I sold my scripted show, American Woman, I got a legal letter, she added, referring to a document written by Kathy's attorney informing Kyle that she would not use Kathy or her family in the series. Oof, 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 oof. Though the sisters are now in a better place, Kyle's comments may trigger another years long feud. Will Kathy forgive the current season, which was filmed before they reconciled, or will history repeat itself? So I do have the clip of Kyle's conversation with her therapist. If you guys are watching this on the replay and the clip doesn't play, it's just due to Bravo or NBC trying to take the copyright, even though I am legally allowed to share the clip due to the fair use doctrine. Sometimes they do come after people when they use their clip, even though legally I'm allowed to. But just in case the clip doesn't show when you're watching it on the back, if you're watching the replay of this, that's why. But we will watch the clip as well. But I wanted to break this down a little bit before we do that. So I think the issue with Kyle is that she always plays victim and doesn't take any accountability for the role that she plays in situations. Like, I'm not saying that Kathy is a saint. No, nobody is perfect. Nobody is a saint. But it seems like Kyle never takes personal responsibility for the role that she plays in the destructive and the demise of relationships that she has. Like we saw with LVP, she took zero accountability for attacking her friend who was grieving the loss of her brother and really turning her against her. Even in the clip that we'll watch, she doesn't ask Kathy, is what Lisa Rinna said true? She doesn't have a conversation with her. She just goes into her usual crying and shaking and just says, I can't believe you said that. I can't believe you said that. Basically accusing her without asking her, and that's why Kathy's like, Kyle, I'm gonna need you to reel it in. I'm gonna need you to cool it down. I'm gonna need you to calm it down, Kyle. Is because Kyle is just accusing her. And I think Kyle is doing that on purpose because I think she wants it to land on camera as if this is the truth of what Kathy said. She doesn't say, Kathy, is this true? Or did you say? Or Kathy, what happened? Or what is your side of the story? She just accuses Kathy of what Lisa Rinna says. And that's not being a sister. That's not even being a friend. So, Kyle, I do think that you are setting up Kathy in that situation that no matter what, it was making it look like Kathy had said these things. Now, do I think Kathy said some stuff? Yeah, she was pissed, and she had been prodded and poked. Do I think she said everything Lisa Rinna said? No. Now, also with, Kyle talking about the book that she had coming out, the same thing happened with Kim's book. Don't you guys remember Kim Richards was supposed to have a big exposé book that came out, and apparently both Kathy and Kyle got the book squashed because they didn't want Kim spilling the family beans, but Kathy paid Kim, like, some royalty money, like, some money that she'd have gotten from the book. That's the rumor I heard, was that Kathy and Kyle both stopped, Kim's book from coming out, and Kathy gave Kim some money, which actually kinda sounds like that would track. So, I'm confused as to why she thinks that they wouldn't have the same reaction to her book. Now, what I'm saying is, do I think it's right for someone to say, "You can't write a book if I'm in it," or anything like that? Yes and no, because it's nuanced, because if someone is writing a book about their life and you are in their life, then of course they're gonna talk about you through their perspective and their experience. But it's the delicate balance of how does someone write a book about somebody else's life without spilling that person's tea in a way, because like, how do you write a book about your life, but you don't talk about your sisters? How do you write a book about your life, but you don't talk about your mom? That could be tough. So it's tough between writing a book from your perspective, your experience, versus spilling the tea and the rumors and exposing other people in your life. So there's that going on. It just seems like a lot of Kathy bashing and Kyle always playing the victim. Now, I actually agree with what Kim said in the last episode. She said, I think that both people could have done things differently. I do. I think Kathy could have done something different. Kyle could have done something different. But I think in the current falling out, which we all witnessed with our own eyes, that was pretty much all Kyle. You don't set your sister up and have other people get the green light to attack her. Lisa Rinna and Erica Jane and all this stuff. Like, even if you don't vibe with your sister, you don't rock with other people trying to take her down, you know? That's just kinda where I landed with it. And then I'm also kind of over these very, like, hyper produced, hyper scripted, quote, "therapy scenes." We've seen it happen so many times. We've seen it happen with Dorit. We've seen it happen with Erica Jane, where they're talking to their life coach, their spiritual mentor, their therapist, and it's all so scripted and obvious. I'm like, "Where are you getting these therapists who are like, 'Yeah, I'm gonna be on reality TV having a session with you?'" That's not gonna break client confidentiality at all. That's not gonna put my professionalism in question at all. And I also think it's very telling that all of a sudden, Kyle now has this therapist, now is on camera talking about Kyle and Kathy, or talking about her and Kathy right after Sutton said, "You've already lost 2 sisters, do you wanna lose a third?" Right? So I think that this is in direct retaliation to Sutton's comments. But let's watch the clip, and I wanna know what you guys think. Here we go.
Can. No, you do. But it cannot be on their terms. It cannot be where you're in the doghouse all the time. What would it take for you to feel it's safe to open yourself and have Kathy get close again?
So, yeah, I'm just kind of tired of the fake therapy sessions. I would much have rathered Kyle have that conversation with Erica Jane, or that conversation with Crystal, or that conversation with Faye. Like, just stop bringing the therapist onto the screen just to have a quote professional or objective person to regurgitate what your narrative is, unless that therapist is actually going to be honest and challenge you and push you and stretch you. You know what I mean? But I wanna know what you guys think. Put it down below. And do you think that after Kathy watches, if she's even watching this season, do you think that she's gonna have another falling out with Kyle? And also, do you think Kathy is gonna have a falling out with Sutton after Sutton spills the beans about Kathy calling and yelling at her about not supporting her in public, and then also Sutton saying, she's not afraid of Kathy? Do you think that's going to affect Sutton and Kathy's friendship? So put it down below, but before you do that, go ahead and like, subscribe, and share, and I'll talk to you next time. Bye.